Hey guys, Damian Erskine here. I wanted to do a new video because my book, Right Hand Drive, has just become available through the iBass magazine iPad app, which I'm really stoked about. It's been available physically through CD Baby for some time now, a few years. This year, it recently became available as an ebook on Kindle, iPad, iPhone, all of that. Pretty much all ebook readers. But now, my problem with the ebook was that there's no way to embed the audio without making it iPad only. If I wanted it to be available for Kindle, that meant no audio, which is fine. There's plenty of music and plenty of good stuff in there, but I really wanted a digital version with audio examples. So I teamed up together with iBass magazine. They've recently released a great new iPad app, so their magazine is available digitally. And now, as an optional download, they've made a version of my book, which looks exactly the same. I actually like it better than the ebook version because you can zoom in quite easily. But it also has audio embedded. It has little QuickTime links. You just hit play and it'll play the example. And it's especially helpful with the transcriptions in the back of the book. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about it. You can see here on the screen, I've got a PDF version of the book. I was just going to flip through and show you one of the audio examples. You can see there's a ton of examples. The first half of the book is basically all focused around my three-finger technique, almost kind of a banjo technique. It actually developed more out of a love of slap rhythms and the percussive effects, but just never feeling entirely comfortable slapping. So I developed more of a fingerstyle version of slapping for myself. And you can see there's a lot of illustrations and examples. Basically, most of the examples are premised around the idea of turning your thumb into a finger you can use, one that comes as second nature as your primary two fingers if you play with a standard two-finger technique. So it's ways to develop this third finger. And really a lot of the exercises you could take and use them in any way you want to develop facility with your right hand, but it premised a lot around taking rhythmic groupings and working them through harmonic challenges, a lot of arpeggio exercises, scales, playing through changes, but with specific fingerings and intentions in mind to develop use of the thumb. So there's a lot of stuff here, you see. And some of the stuff you'll notice at the end of that section, after a bunch of grooves and fills and licks and ideas, I added a bunch of grooves from my own tunes that use that technique. One of them I thought I'd show you here. It utilizes a lot of harmonics, and my primary, I could call it a primary rhythm that a lot of my grooves are based off of, which is a finger pattern that felt kind of naturally to my fingers. So let me just play this part of this tune, and this is a tune that isn't on any of my official albums yet. It will be recorded soon. I do have some live recordings. I'll play you a snippet of that. But so here's how it sounds in real time. So you can hear there's a lot going on in there. I'm perceiving a lot of the muted 16th notes. It's almost like a ghost notes on a snare drum. But that line is pretty much a straight 16th note series. And it's all premised around this one groove. So if I'm going to show you this, and you'll see it right down here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit to show you even clearer. Let's make this big. So there's the line in all its glory. Now up here I tell you what string I am playing on, and here are the notes, and here are the fingerings. H is hammer, T is thumb, 1, 2. Now this PT stands for percussive thumb, and I explain all this in the book, but to show you this groove, I'll just briefly tell you what that means. That means that I am not just plucking the string or plucking through it, but I'm actually coming down and hitting on the string, and then because often that PT is followed by a T. So I'm getting two notes for one, coming down on the string for a percussive effect, and then plucking the string. So that's what that means. And this, you can see right there, hammering the first note, thumb, G, C, harmonics, percussive thumb, strike, index, open string with the sound thumb, hammer, thumb, 1, 2, and that's the gist of it. Hammer. Let's see. Hammer, thumb, 1, hammer, thumb, 1, 2, percussive thumb, 1, open, hammer. It's hard for me to play these without playing the actual grooves. I'll also show you where all those harmonics lay in case you're having trouble grabbing those. First two are just G and C, and then again G and C, and then D, A, D, F, A, D, E flat. Essentially, on this 4th fret, a lot of you may already know there's 2 harmonics available. So I'm hitting right on that F sharp to C, where the A flat is in the B. F sharp C. I'm essentially making the shape of an A flat 7 chord. G, and then right on that 3rd fret there. So this is the other harmonic available within that 4th fret there. I'm hitting right on that 3rd actual fret, just on this side of it. So for a lot of you, aside from the right hand dexterity, this line might be a little tough because it forces you to hold one note down while just barely touching the string to get the other harmonics. And that may seem a little counterintuitive at first, hard to press one all the way down and only lightly touch the others. But so the key with any of these grooves and any of these exercises is building them up, building a strong foundation. So starting slow, and then slowly building them up to speed. Play them as slow as you need to play them properly. You don't want to train yourself to play them wrong, incorrectly, or sloppily. You don't want to, because then you're just reinforcing bad technique and sloppy playing, which isn't the goal at all. So. If you're still having trouble with that at that speed, which you probably will at first, I always encourage people to break it into digestible chunks. there's basically one pattern that's repeating in the right hand. So in order to simplify the process for yourself, you can eliminate the notes at first, so you're not thinking about, this pattern and using up too much. You don't want to use up too much brain energy on that when you're just trying to get this. So first, just get the so it's hammer, thumb, 1, 2. And then the next part, which is probably the tricky part for you, percussive thumb, thumb, 1, thumb, to hit the open string. And if you can get that and slowly build that up to speed, when I play it that fast, I play it a lot softer. Economy of motion is also important. If you're moving your fingers too much to get everything done, it'll inhibit your ability to play it. So a lot of this is reinforcing good, efficient technique by forcing yourself to have to use good, efficient technique to get the line out. So that's essentially that line. And I usually start the first one. I wind up doing thumb twice, because the hammer-on doesn't make sense to my hands until I've looped the line, until I come back around. It's the end of this last measure that makes me want to hammer that first note. So that's the line, and there's like I said, there's a ton of examples of different lines, different grooves, and this is, we're already 45 pages into the book, so it doesn't start off with this, so don't let that scare you. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of stuff, and then the second half of the book is all based around providing the foundation for a soloing vocabulary, an improviser's vocabulary, understanding scales and chord tones and how to use those in your practice to develop walking lines, and using leading tones and chromatic approach tones and scalar approach tones in your solos and in your bass lines. Just to, developing a harmonic vocabulary and understanding harmony. So you see, and there's a lot of bass players love this stuff. There's a ton of chord shapes for 4, 5, and 6 string bass. So you can see there's a lot of stuff, a lot of good information there, as well as transcriptions of some of my favorite bass players, Rich Brown and Kai Eckhart, and then also 3 transcriptions of mine from various albums, and those are included in the audio, so you can listen along and learn to play along with that stuff. So right on. I hope that helps, and I'm really excited that iBass made a digital version that'll work with audio. The ebook is great on the Kindle. All the information is there, but sometimes it's just nice to hear the example. Even me, when going through some of these old grooves, some of these I just kind of came up with for the book, and then I look at them again, and it can be a little hard to discern how they're supposed to sound, but then I listen to the example and I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. So right on. Thanks to Nick Wells at iBass Magazine for making that happen. And of course, the physical copies are always available with MP3 CD from CD Baby. You just search my name or Right Hand Drive, and of course all the ebooks. And I've gotten great feedback, so I hope people continue to dig it, and I hope you find it useful. Thank you.